the American Le Mans Series at Mazda Raceway in Laguna Seca. NBC Sports with coverage of the season finale in 2004. Today, it's the Audi Sports Car Championships at Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. A huge story at the front of the grid for today's finale. A surprise qualifying on the pole. With that story, Calvin Fish.
Well, Rick, indeed, yesterday we saw a very surprise qualifying performance put in by a team that's making only its second start in ALMS competition this year. The creation team waited patiently while the Audis laid down very strong qualifying times. And then they unleashed their driver, Frenchman Nicolas Manassian, in the number 27 DBA Zytek. Now, the team calls this car the Blue Rocket, and for very good reason, as Nicolas scorched his way around this racetrack to the pole position. But as the race starts today, the question is the car fast but fragile? Can it last 4 hours? And how will their Dunlop tyres fare on a racetrack that has been dominated by Michelin runners for the last 5 years?
Hi, I'm Nick Manassian. I'm driving the number 27 Creation Auto Sportif DBA Zytek car, sharing with Jimmy Campbell-Water, and we'll be starting on pole today.
Hi, I'm Ian James. I'm driving the number 10 Miracle Motorsport Garage with James Dewey. And we grab the pole here at Laguna Seca for P2 class.
I'm Olivier Beretta, driving the number 4. We did the pole today in Laguna Seca, and I'm driving with Oliver Gavin for GM Racing.
Hello, I'm Timo Bernhard. I'm driving the number 23 Meccana Electro Porsche together with Jörg Backmeister, and we grabbed the pole in GT.
He did get a good start. Look at that two champion Audis, almost bumped off to start. Their Dyson cars alongside as well, going down into turn 2.
Manassian with the early lead in the 27 car. The Audi is second. The Dyson car third. That's one of those Lolas.
Oh, he got hit.
Audi gets turned around. That's the 2 car, Johnny Herbert. Herbert gets bumped off the racetrack. Here come the Corvettes.
Johnny wisely sitting, taking his time. He does not want to pull on the track, get in the way of somebody else flying up. This is 4 hours long. He's a mature driver. He knows he doesn't have to rush it to get back into the field, but he'll be hot.
But it is hard to pass you.
Oh, extremely hard. Interesting talking to Nick Manassian. Here we are on board with JJ. Now, this is the Audi R8. Dramatically different cars. The Audi, of course, turbocharged. The car immediately ahead, normally aspirated.
Take another look at what happened in turn 2.
Now, that was one of the Dyson cars, and you know, I think it was Chris Dyson. That's very uncharacteristic. Chris Dyson, somebody I would trust any day. Here we are, just look at the back of the picture, and right?
I think Herbert turned down on it.
Well, you know what, he had a right to turn in, actually.
That is a Reynard chassis built to the letter, the old 675 specs. Now, when the categories were changed several months ago, they decided to move that car into P1 with that Zytek motor, which is a V8.
Yeah, and some of our viewers, if they have real sharp eyes, they may be looking at this car thinking, I think I've seen it, and yes, you have. John Nielsen brought that very car over to run Petit Le Mans a couple of years ago. Didn't have much success with it. The car initially was designed and built by Reynard, and they got this chassis out of the factory before the whole thing went defunct. You can see it's a really fine little race car.
In GT, the lead car right now is that number 23, Timo Bernhard. All he needs is 6th or better to lock up the Drivers' Championship. He's teamed again with Jörg Bergmeister. Bergmeister missed a race earlier this year, so he can't contend for the title.
Correct. And Timo is all set in this race, doing a really fine job for the electrical team once again.
Riding with Clint Field, he's got the helmet cam for us here today, and he's leading in Prototype 2. He got by Ian James a few moments ago, and there he is in that click-away car from Intersport Racing. Closing in on the GT8 Porsche there, the 43, the S Network car from BAM Motorsports. As we watch Clint Field, now this is the driver who's really in the catbird seat for the P2 title, Ian James.
Ian James had such a good season. He really is a very talented young Englishman, just a delight to chat with. And once they got this car, he bonded with it instantly. It has been very quick, very reliable. GTS class finally. This is a production-based race car. Now I say race car because even though it looks like a Corvette you might drive on the street, don't kid yourselves. This is 7 liters of pure horsepower, lightweight, very exotic.
Talk about $1 million race car. Here's one that's nearly that. These CompuWare Corvettes have won all around the world. They've won at Le Mans, and they're on the verge of a season sweep in American Le Mans that's never been done before. This is Ron Fellows. Contact up front, battling for the top spot. Wow, Manassian in the blue car, still there.
Man, the Zytek tried to go around one side, JJ Leto tried to go around the other. Now they're coming up into the hairpin. Look at the traffic ahead. Look at JJ.
Corner. Leto for the lead.
He's got it down the inside, past him, but we have to keep in mind down the end of this straight, a great passing area. JJ swerving, trying to keep him behind. The lighter car is the dark blue one following that white Audi. It is about 350 pounds less. Should have better braking, and let's find out.
Into 2, going for the lead again. Manassi trying to take it back. Leto in the Audi tries to jump back at him, can't do it.
Well, one of the difficulties with classes right up at the corkscrew, and look at this. JJ has to go wide.
Wow.
He's lucky at this point. The gravel trap is so smooth, he's able to drive the Audi offline and really only loses a couple of seconds. Up ahead, they both see this car now. At this point, Manassi decides to be cautious. Leto goes for it.
And you can see how Leto was being held up, I guess, by Manassi. He's opened up 20 car lengths.
That's really amazing. I wonder maybe if Manassi's tires are starting to go off, because Leto has pulled away a lot faster than I thought.
Now this is the battle for 3rd overall. Butch Leitzinger and Rob Dyson's Lola with the AAR power, the 16. They won at Mosport earlier this year. And there's the car running in 4th overall. The other ADT champion, Audi, that's the 2 car with Johnny Herbert in the center. All the lead cars have been on pit road for their first stops of the day. Let's get an update first to Calvin Fish.
Well, JJ Leto brought the number 38 car in, and they went to fuel and kept JJ behind the wheel, but a real trick that the team had up their sleeves was just changing the front tires only. Meanwhile, the number 27 car is in, Jan.
Yes, and the 27 car made a pit stop a few moments after the 38, and they changed tires but did not change the driver. You can see a little bit of damage up on the right front. He had some contact on the racetrack. The most important thing in this pit stop, the team told him you could have actually gone 4 more laps, but we wanted to get you on a new set of tires. So that's an indicator that in the warmer weather, the Dunlops are not lasting quite as long. 1 minute and 9 second stop. The 37 had trouble earlier. In fact, coming down the hill, appeared to be out of fuel.
Okay, copy that, copy that.
He did eventually get onto pit road, and now they have determined the reserve fuel does not work, so they will pit this car, the 37, about 4 laps earlier for the duration of the race.
So dating back on the racetrack, we watched the Reynard Zytek, pole sitter Nicholas Menashe there, number 27, being chased now by Johnny Herbert. Herbert's tried him in a couple of different places, Bill.
Johnny continues to drive very smoothly, but aggressively with a real touch on it. He is not willing to risk the car. We've seen a couple times get almost alongside Manassi and then backs out.
In GTS, Ollie Gavin continues to lead. Calvin, both these cars have been to pit road.
They have, Rick, and very routine starts with the number 4 that leads and the number 3. Olivier Beretta turned the car over to Ollie Gavin, and it was Ron Fellows who's clinched the championship along with his teammate, Johnny O'Connell. And Johnny O'Connell is now behind the wheel. But when you look at the stats for this year, the Drivers' Championship may be over in the favor of Ron and Johnny, but they're 4 apiece in terms of all victories in GTS. There's nothing that Olivier and Ollie Gavin would like better than to end the season with a win today, ended up 5-4 in the win column.
And some bad news for Chris Dyson. Chris, your car's on pit road. Are you guys done?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, yeah. Looks like we lost a piston, unfortunately. The car was going reasonably well. We weren't as quick as we'd like to be, but we were hanging in there. The guys worked so hard all weekend to try to get a good balance for the race. It's a shame to see it end like this.
But Bill, the action in GT always terrific. Again, it's the Alex Job cars out there.
Jörg Bergmeister right now on board this number 23 McKenna Porsche has really done everything that he needed to do to try and ensure that his teammate Timo Bernhard wins the championship this year. They have led from the drop of the green. They have not been challenged. As you see, the car doesn't have a mark on it.
3rd in GT at the moment, Johannes van Overbeek. This is one of the Flying Lizard cars, the 45, and they're in contention for the championship.
They could still do it. I mean, running in 3rd place, but they have to hope that Bergmeister, running in that number 23 car, has a problem. If Bergmeister is to finish 7th or worse, and they can come through with a win, then they would take the championship.
Well, JJ Leto showing that great breeding, you might say, here today. Bill Adam, he's leading as we approach the 2-hour mark here today. Leto has battled with Nick Manassi, the pole sitter, but Leto took over a while back, and no one's been able to get close to him.
Well, Manassi and their team, they continue to impress me. I mean, this little creation team does have only 10 full-time employees, and yet they're still running a very solid 2nd place.
Uh-oh, problems for Ian James.
No.
Oh, no, 6th overall, leading P2. Remember, James needed a great day here today.
What the?
Downshifting into turn 2. And then it wouldn't turn.
That sounded almost like the brakes went on. He just decelerated so quickly.
Dan, what's the problem?
the car just wouldn't turn all of a sudden, so we're not quite sure what the problem is right now. Maybe a rear push rod or something.
Now let's recap the situation. They have to go 70% of the distance here today. We're not even to the 2-hour mark. Let's get more on prototype 2, Jan Beekes.
Well, we saw the 56 car of the team Buffalo Racing coming on pit road. This is why it was a very quick pit stop. This is a tear-off that came off someone's helmet. It was stuck in the intake, and of course, if that's stuck in your intake, that's going to overheat the car. They caught it in time. They're A-OK now, but spent some extra time on pit road.
We were hearing that they couldn't get more than 50% throttle without the engine cutting out.
Yeah.
That would be what? Trouble on pit road. The pole sitter, Jan Beekes, is there.
Yes, and it appears as though the throttle is sticking open for Nicholas Manassian. They're going to take the back of the car off to check near the engine. They're going to take the nose box off to check the pedal box.
Down here at the 10 pit yard, the Miracle Motorsports team's gone to work. They've identified the problem, the right front toe link on this number 10 Courage. They've changed it. When I looked at the piece, it's remarkable that Ian James could get this car back to pit lane. They've done a driver change. They're now refueling the car. They've got James Guay behind the wheel to try and get this car back on track and score those vital points today.
And in P2, another car has taken over. This is the Intersport 30. They've won 5 times this year. This is Robin Liddell from England driving the car now.
Scotland, I beg your pardon.
Oh, excuse me.
Look at this right here.
Let's get an update from pit road. More on the 27 car's problems. Jan Beekes.
They're in the process right now trying to get this car refired. We saw that they went ahead and changed drivers, and they used about a half a can of WD-40. There were no wrenches used. It was all done with brake clean and WD-40. So they're hoping a little bit of lubricant somehow is going to keep this throttle from sticking.
Here we are. We're on board that number 10 car, back underway. That's the Courage.
They have had to serve a penalty on pit road. One extra man over the wall working on the car. They're going to come in, we're told now, and serve the penalty. It'll probably be a stop and go. And so the Miracle Motorsports team with more problems to fight through. But again, remember, they just need to complete 70% of the race distance. This is the 38 car that was in the lead. J.J. Leto gave up the point, came in, helped his teammate Marco Werner get the belt set. It was pretty much a smooth stop.
Down here with J.J. Leto. J.J., great opening stint there. Talk about the battle you had with Manassian in the 27 car.
Well, you know, it was good fight with Manassian. You know, he was doing a good job, and their car was working really, really well. I knew that I can't get by, you know, easily, and I didn't want to cause any problems, you know, or hit anybody. So I just thought, let's race and let's see, you know, how these tires are doing. And I was just saving my car a lot, you know, braking early.
Nicholas Manassian, the bad news is they just take your 27 car and put it behind the wall. What was the problem?
We have been at the beginning of the second stint, we start to overheat a little bit on the engine, and that's been causing the throttle to stick. So more I was driving, the more the throttle was sticky, and until suddenly it just got stuck completely, you know, so it's pretty dangerous to drive like this.
Leader is on pit road. It's number 2 driven by Johnny Herbert, the second of the champion Audis. Turning it over now to the young German Pierre Kammer. He was fast, but he is definitely a man you need to watch. He needs to keep it on the island. He gives it 100% all of the time. We expect this to be a 4-tire change. Remember, on the first starts, both of the champion cars went with just front tires only. But when they turn it over to a new guy, they look to put a new set of stickers on the car.
Now, earlier, while we were away, couple of things have happened and problems for the Intersport team in a couple of areas. This is their prototype 1 Lola, Bill. John Field had that engine just let go on.
He sure did. That's the end of a very expensive race engine.
Could be the end of the line for Intersport Racing and that race car. I talked to John earlier this weekend. That tub, the carbon fiber chassis of that car has cracked and been fixed so many times. He said it's got too much flex in it. We can't really run it anymore. Meantime, their P2 car that's leading the race, they're going to have to serve a penalty. Their driver support person in that last pit stop not properly attired, no goggles, so a penalty upcoming on the 30. Rain has been falling here as we get to the last 17, 18 minutes of racing. The lead car continues to be the ADT champion Audi of Marco Werner, car number 38. They've got a 10-second lead over their team car, the Audi number 2 of Pierre Caffer. The rain had started earlier. They had a full course caution briefly. Now rain has returned. The caution was not caused by the rain. It was for a car that was off course. Let's take you back through some highlights of the last many moments here. In GTS, the Asemco Celine on pit road for a long period of time. They had concerns that water was leaking out of that race car. Now the Corvettes stopped together, Jan Beekes, and there was a lead change on pit road.
Yes, there was. Watch the car in the front, the 4 car. It actually came on the pit road first, but there was a problem. Look, the jubilation from the crew behind, the stomping of the feet from the crew in front. It all came down to one lug nut. There was a problem on the 4 car on the right rear, and that position change happened quickly.
So Johnny O'Connell leads GTS. Calvin.
Well, problems continue for the number 10 Miracle Motorsports. Ian James survived a scare earlier in this race when the rod end broke on the front suspension. His teammate James Guay now behind the wheel reports that there's some kind of steering issue once again. The car is weaving around on the straightaways, and the team are trying to identify what the problem is. So this is scary moments for this team. They're within a whisker of capturing the Drivers' Championship for young Ian James.
And we have a full course caution being thrown by IMSA officials, and one of the ADT champion Audis on pit road. Race leader Marco Werner down there. Calvin Fish.
Yes, this rain is coming down pretty heavily right now, and Marco Werner and the champion team are taking no risk whatsoever. They're switching to the Michelin wet weather tire.
And it's been great drama here in the last few minutes. Just a couple of moments to go. And the ADT champion Audi number 2 with Pierre Caffer is your race leader by a lap. Let's show you why he took the lead when his teammate Marco Werner in the 38. Take a look at the top of your screen here. Now remember, this is as cars were stopping on pit road to get rain tires under caution. Take a look here. We'll see the Audi loop it off the final corner. They elected to stay out, and Werner spun. We have an onboard view for you. Werner came to a stop here. Let's take a look. Hard to see in the dark conditions here, but Werner came off the final corner, did not go to pit road, and had the car go around on him. By the time he got restarted, pointed in the right direction, his teammate Caffer had pitted for rains, and he was out in front. Now, we showed you the Miracle Motorsports team and their drama tonight. Ian James, James Guay, and John Macaluso. Well, they've completed enough laps to give James the Drivers' Championship in P2, but during the rain, they spun. The car went off course and stopped on the beach.
Oh, they have just about done everything possible to try and give away this championship, but they keep soldiering on. The first time I ever met Dave Mirage was at Sebring under one of these spindly little aluminum tents that you hardly can cover a picnic table with. And now he's built up a team that, in the words of the top people in Audi, is better than Yost. I mean, the ultimate compliment. These guys have just done such a great job.
Those of us who were around during the Yost years, that is a heavy compliment.
Tremendous.
Indeed. Here comes Caffer in car number 2. He and Johnny Herbert will score the season-ending victory at the Audi Sports Car Championships at Laguna Seca Raceway.
Good job, boys. Good job. Thanks for everything. Edge, the car was perfect.
Well, in very tricky conditions, it's Johnny Herbert and Pierre Caffer who come through for the victory tonight. And Pierre, talk about the conditions there in the final hour.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, this condition. I never had this before in my life. It was just unbelievable, and I nearly crashed the car. It was so slippery outside. I never had this before.
Now in prototype 2, the race victory to the Intersport team. Clint Field, 3rd spot to the Intersport team. Ian James, he wins the season championship along with James Guay. Let's take a look at our GT class results. Mark Lieb, Romain Dumas for the Alex Job team. And the season champion, Timo Bernhard with Jörg Bergmeister. Let's hear now from the 2004 champion.
Well, he didn't capture the victory here today, but he got the victory in the championship. Timo Bernhard, 2nd tonight, but the Drivers' Championship has to be sweet for you.
Yeah, that was a big goal this year, and we achieved it. Thank you to Alex Job and to Porsche. It was perfect year, and I'm very happy to win this championship. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't win because we were leading every session. We were leading the whole race until the rain came. But I made an early pit stop, and that screwed us up. Normally we would have won, but it was raining so hard that I thought I have to come in to get some rain tires to get on the safe side. I wanted to be on the safe side. The championship was the main goal.
And in GTS, Ron Fellows and Johnny O'Connell win their 5th of the season. They are the GTS season champions. A late race pit stop gave them the victory in GTS tonight.